It's time for Thursday night short track racing for the NASCAR K&N Pro Series East from Richmond International Raceway. Alongside Phil Parsons, I'm Rick Allen. The weather has been threatening rain all day. We've been able to get a practice in. It's 76 degrees, and the forecast is for showers. Want to take a look at our point standings after two races. Sergio Pena up top in the point standings. Coleman Presley a very close second.
Remember, Rick, this is the old point standings. This series has not adopted the new point standings. So Alex Bowman, 24 points behind in fifth. That's only 5 or 6 positions.
Phil, let's take a look at your storylines.
New track for the series. This is the first standalone race that we've ever had here for the K&N Pro Series. Big, strong field. 38 cars will start this race. And as you mentioned before, the weather is threatening. This race may not go the distance.
Drivers are going to want to get to the front as quickly as they can. Let's find out a little bit about one of our contestants today in tonight's Bio Blast.
I'm Alex Bowman, driver of the number 16 X-Team Racing Toyota. I'm mainly from open wheel stuff, some sprint car and midget stuff. I won the DMS Driver Challenge in 2009, the USAC National Ford Focus Midget Championship in 2008. My goal for this year is to be able to win some races, finish top 5 in the championship, and hopefully win the Rookie of the Year. I'm Alex Bowman, and that's your K&N Bio Blast.
At just 17 years old, it sounds like his voice is still changing.
Yeah, so you see he finished third in his debut back at Greenville, and also a top 10 behind that at South Boston.
So an impressive early career for Alex Bowman. When we come back, the green flag will fly on the Blue Ox 100 from Richmond International Raceway. And welcome back to the Blue Ox 100 here on Speed, your motorsports authority. Want to take a look at the numbers of Richmond International Raceway. And Phil, compared to our first two races, this racetrack is huge.
It really is. It's almost twice as big as our last racetrack, South Boston. You see 3/4 of a mile in length. The distance, 100 laps, 75 miles. The turns are banked 14 degrees, and the front straightaway is a constant turn.
Take a look at our starting grid. Max Gresham, Darrell Wallace Jr. will make up row number 1. Two very successful young drivers in this series.
We have so much young talent. It's incredible here. There's Michael Cherry back in row number 8. Coleman Presley had a runner-up finish in his first time out at Greenville.
See a lot of familiar names. McReynolds, Blaney, Elliott, LaJoy.
Yeah, a lot of second generation and even third generation drivers here in this field.
They're all in line. On the inside, Max Gresham in the number 18. Darrell Wallace Jr. on the outside in the number 6. Coming out of turn number 4. Green flag goes in the air. We're underway.
Remember, this is going to be a long race on this racetrack. They have 1 set of tires to run these 100 laps. The Sprint Cup cars will have 11 sets of tires to run 400 laps.
Big difference. Now we see that 35 of Andrew Ranger challenging Darrell Wallace Jr. up front for second.
Andrew Ranger won on the road course in both the East and the West last year, but that doesn't mean he's only a road course racer. Does a nice job on the ovals as well.
And the field spread out as we've completed lap number 1, going on lap 2, all the way back to 10th single file. There's a battle for the 9th spot.
It's a new look for Eddie McDonald. That's an ex-Braun Racing Nationwide car that Reed Sorensen ran with Dollar General colors.
Yep. Matt DiBenedetto right behind him in the number 15.
There's our most recent winner, Sergio Pena, in the 4 car right behind Matt.
Single file line. Phil, where's the easiest place to pass on this racetrack? Or is there one?
There is an easy. This racetrack is definitely 2 wide. You can run side by side, sometimes even 3 wide. But you really want to be able to turn the car in the center of the corner, try to get up underneath somebody up off the corner. That's the easiest way to pass, but you can do it around the high side if you need to.
Max Gresham, the 17-year-old, out in front of this field. He's got about a second lead over second place Darrell Wallace Jr. as we see Sergio Pena try to make the move on Matt DiBenedetto.
See Matt able to get the power down from the outside, has that momentum from the outside.
Pena now the preferred line, looks as though he's going to be able to take that spot away, and now he'll set his sights on Eddie McDonald. I think confidence was a big thing that Sergio Pena needed. He needed to get to victory lane. He was able to do it in our last race, and now that confidence is making him excel on the racetrack.
And remember, we talked about him all last year after that great run in the showdown just battled Joey Logano for all he was worth. Probably had the best car, ended up finishing second after leading a bunch of that race, and didn't really follow that up last season with a bunch of good finishes. Had some top 10s, but nothing like what we were expecting, but he sure did it at South Boston.
And he gets by Eddie McDonald, so Sergio Pena continues to move toward the front.
This series, you're able to run a composite body that's essentially a one-piece body. Sergio Pena's car is a composite body car. You get a 50-pound weight break for running that composite body as well.
Brandon Godovic just in front of Sergio Pena now. Father-son duo of Rick Godovic and Brandon Godovic.
Both running for Rookie of the Year this year.
Pretty impressive. Now the gap is closed. Darrell Wallace Jr. has pulled within 4 car lengths of Max Gresham out in front.
Both of those drivers have moved up off the bottom down in 1 and 2. They were about a half a lane up.
See Pena now looking to the inside of Brandon Godovic, trying to make that pass.
Great
Chase
battle
Elliott
for 6. Yeah, Chase Elliott, Bill Elliott's young 15-year-old son, and Benny Gordon. Benny, so much experience. 4-time USAR Pro Cup Northern Division champion, as well as overall champion back in 2005.
Ryan Gifford just behind him in the Toyota Camry, number 2. Benny Gordon still trying to run that bottom line as we saw Chase Elliott move up the racetrack. There's the distance now between 1 and 2. Max Gresham and Darrell Wallace Jr. Looks like Darrell Wallace Jr. is coming on. So with Wallace Jr. take a quick break, be right back with more racing from Richmond International Raceway. Welcome back. We remain green flag racing here from Richmond International Raceway. Max Gresham out in front. Just behind him, Darrell Wallace Jr. And a good battle back here. Ryan Gifford, Benny Gordon for that 7th position.
Chase Elliott able to take 6th away from Benny Gordon. A little bit of smoke out of Chase's car, it looked like that time. Getting down in the corner. Ryan Gifford, one of the Revolution Racing team drivers. There are 4 of those in the race. Sergio Pena, we've been talking a lot about, as well as Darrell Wallace Jr. Those are 2 of the Revolution Racing, along with Michael Cherry. He's driving the number 8 car. That makes up the 4 Revolution Racing cars.
Running very well once again here in Richmond International Raceway. We see Chase Elliott just in front of Benny Gordon. Elliott able to hold off Benny Gordon. Gordon running a little lower line around the racetrack. And there you see just 1 car length separates the top 2.
Yeah, Darrell Wallace Jr. has chased down the 18 of Max Gresham. You see Darrell Wallace Jr. run a little bit of a diamond pattern in the corner, winning a little bit high, right in the center of the corner, turn that car right back down to the bottom of the racetrack.
And Darrell Wallace Jr. now on the back bumper of Max Gresham. Gresham, since the drop of the green flag, has led every lap. We're starting to see a little bit of moisture on the lens of our camera here, Phil.
Yeah, they've talked about the skies threatening the entire day. We've been able to get everything in. Had a long 2-hour practice session as well as qualifying without being interrupted by rain, but hopefully we can get the rest of this thing in. Technology
here in the booth. We've got a radar that shows there is rain coming into the area. We're just not sure when it'll get here.
Still well before halfway, so no sense of urgency yet for Darrell Wallace Jr. He doesn't need to push the envelope here. He's perfectly content right now to ride behind our leader, Max Gresham.
Andrew Ranger in the 35, a little bit slower, the 26 of Scott Booley. 15 laps of the 100 complete, all green flag laps.
This racetrack is probably most similar to Iowa that the series runs on a regular basis. They run that combination race, which will be our next race for the East and the West in a few weeks. And this is probably the most common racetrack to that, as we see Sergio Pena take over that 8th position from his teammate Ryan Gifford.
Teammates battling on the racetrack, and Pena takes the spot, so he moves up to the 8th position again after starting 12th today.
He's definitely been the car on the move. Benny Gordon, the 66 car, next for Sergio Pena. Talk about confidence. Boy, that big win at South Boston a few weeks ago, really a confidence booster for Sergio Pena.
Ryan Gifford trying to stay on the back bumper of his teammate as Pena looks to get by that 66 of Benny Gordon. Just in front of him, Chase Elliott in the number 9. See Scott Booley moving over to the inside in the 26. the attitude of that 26. You see the front end, the valance way up off the racetrack. A huge difference compared to the other cars that are going by him now.
You just have such a better aero platform when that front valance is stuck to the racetrack. So many things. You can see Chase Elliott's car is actually just a tick higher than Benny Gordon's as Benny makes the move to the inside.
And these two stay nose to tail out in front. Max Gresham, Darrell Wallace Jr. Wallace Jr. running just a bit higher on entry into the turn.
Boy, a nice corner. He was able to get that car turned as they move up on John Salemi to put a lap on John.
Coming up on 20 laps of racing from here at Richmond International Raceway, it's been all Max Gresham. Darrell Wallace Jr. running second has closed the gap. The gap has been as much as 0.3 of a second. Now he's closed that down to within 1/10 of a second and battling for the lead. Look at the inside of Max Gresham.
Saw Gresham get just a little bit loose up off of 2. That opened the door for Darrell Wallace Jr.
Side by side across the stripe. Wallace Jr. drops back behind. Now a battle going between Benny Gordon and Sergio Pena for 7.
Sergio Pena continues his march towards the front. He's going to grab this 7th spot from Benny Gordon.
And once again, side by side for the lead. Here comes Darrell Wallace Jr. to the inside.
Slides up the racetrack, almost makes contact, gets a little bit loose. Both cars got a little bit loose up off of 4.
Max Gresham able to hold on to the lead. Darrell Wallace Jr. is right on his back bumper. And the caution has come out. NASCAR is letting us know it is for rain. So we're starting to see more rain on the racetrack, more rain on the windshields, and they've decided to throw the caution.
Yeah, these slick tires do not like to run on any moisture. Hopefully it'll be just a brief little shower when we get back to racing, but we have not gone halfway yet, so this race is not official.
Pretty amazing side-by-side racing, not only for the lead, but positions all the way back through the top 10. Stay with us. We'll be back with more on Speed.